Hey everybody, welcome back to homerecordingmadeeasy.com and here on my YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to do something that a lot of you guys have asked me to do, or you asked me my opinion since I put out the Blackbird A5 or BBA5 API channel strip here by Kit Plugins. You guys asked me in the comments section, how does it compare to the UAD Vision channel strip? So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about these two channel strips. We're just going to compare them so you can kind of get a feel for how do they sound similar, how do they sound different, and then you can decide which one you like the best. So before we get started, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Also go to homerecordingmadeeasy.com. Get that free $100 mixing course. It's right on the homepage. You cannot miss it. It's my gift to you for visiting Home Recording Made Easy. If you stick around to the end of the video, I'm going to give you something else for free. Okay, here we are. So a few weeks back, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks ago maybe, you have to check the playlist. I have a playlist for all the Kit plugins that we've done. We did a review of this guy right here, the BBA5, which is the API channel strip right from the API console out of Blackbird Studios. I don't remember the model number of the API, but it's on their website. You can go check it out. And we did a review of it and it sounds fantastic. It's right here. We've also done a video probably a year or so ago. Again, you could check the archive under the Universal Audio playlist where we took a look at this one here on the left, which is the Vision channel strip, the API Vision console by Universal Audio. So these are two completely different API consoles, different revisions of it. So they're not exactly one-to-one the same. And so I just want to tell you about some of the similarities and some of the differences, and then we can listen to it and you can decide. Now, the Vision channel strip is part of the UAD Spark subscription, so you can get this natively. You don't have to have Universal Audio hardware any longer, although they do make a DSP version of it. And again, obviously the Blackbird one by Kit is a native one as well. So how are these similar? Well, they're both API. How are they different? They're different. They come off of different desks. So let's walk through it. So if you look through the API, the Kit one here on the right, it's a simpler layout. Why? Because there's fewer controls. We have a preamp section here on the left with a filter section. If we move over to the Universal Audio, we have a preamp section, the 212 preamp off the Vision console here on the left, and we have a filter section down here at the bottom left. So those things are similar. You can choose mic or line level on both plugins. You also have a pad and a phase polarity, just like on both plugins. When you move over to the center section, that's where things get a little bit different. And then on the Blackbird, on the KIT, we have this EQ here. We have 3 different EQs. We have the 550, the 4-band, which I think it's a 550B. We have the 550A, and we have the 560 here, okay? On the Vision channel strip over here by Universal Audio, if you look to the right side of the preamp and the filters, we have a gate and dynamic section, which is not on the Blackbird one by KIT. I don't know if that means that on this particular console at Blackbird, they don't have dynamics on every channel. I assume that they did, but they're 2 different consoles. Nevertheless, on the Vision channel strip, you get the gate and the compressor, which is part of the console of the Vision console. We're not using either one of those for this demonstration because it wouldn't be a fair comparison, right? But over here on the right side of the Vision, we do have 3 EQ types as well. We have the 550L, which is the 4-band. We have the 560L, and then we have the no, we only have 2? We only have 2. We got the 560 and the 550, the 4-band and the graphic. Where on the Blackbird, we have 3 different types. We have the 3-band, the 4-band, and then the graphic, okay? See that? So that's a little bit of a difference. And then if you move over to the right-hand side of the API, we have our output fader here. And we have our meter here. And if we go over to the right side of the Blackbird, we have the analog, turn the analog on and off if you want to hear the hum or the hiss of the console, the white noise, the hum level. And then we also have the little master bus button here, which models the master section of the API console. And that's what that does here as well on the Vision. They modeled the master fader output, okay? Now on the Blackbird, you have oversampling I have on high, so it's the best resolution. You don't have that choice here with the Vision. So what did I do? Basically what I did was, we have a track here where we have some just drums, bass, acoustic guitar, piano. And I started with the Blackbird. I went through and I actually just picked some of their presets and tweaked them because I like their presets. On the EQ, on the filters and the mic level, the input level, the preamp level, and then I just copied those settings over here to the Universal Audio. just to see what would they sound like. I don't know. So I did that for all the drums. We have no plugins turned on here. We have drums here, full drum kit, bass guitar, acoustic guitar, and piano. If I play you back what we have here with no plugins, here's kind of what we're dealing with. So groovy little kind of a Southern country rock instrumental. That's what we have. So what I thought I would do was I would just come over here, highlight all my tracks here in Studio One, and I could turn on the power buttons for all the KIT, the Blackbird one, so you could hear it, then I can shut it off, and then I could turn all the power buttons on for the Universal Audio Vision, and you can hear the difference. So what does it sound like? Does one sound better than the other? Who knows? Let's listen. So I'll start with the KIT, which is the Blackbird, and then we'll go over to Universal Audio. So all you have to do is keep your eye on the power button. The top level is the kit. The bottom level, or the second plugin, is Universal Audio. Here we go. So let's start from the beginning. Let's kick on this kit, and we'll hear what it sounds like. Don't have my hi-hat one turned on here. Hold on the Universal Audio. Sorry about that. The hi-hat one was turned off, but it's real low in the mix. Let's do that again. But here, what do I hear right away? What I hear right away is Universal Audio has more low end. A little bit more low end, a little bit more warm. The kit has a little bit more open, a little bit more, I wouldn't say thin, just thinner sounding than the Universal Audio. So let's start with the kit. Here we go. So to me, that's the biggest difference. Aside from that, they sound very, very similar. So if you look at like if we wanted to just again play with our kick-in mic here for a minute, and we look at the BB, and I just copied the settings, but again, they're not exactly the same circuits. They are the same EQ, but they're made off of two different consoles. So the goal here again wasn't to just see, you know, they're going to sound exactly the same. They're not going to sound exactly the same, right? I think most of you would probably realize that and understand that. But here's the kick-in mic, and we got right now, let's turn them both on. Let's bypass Universal Audio. Here's the kit. Let me turn up more so you can hear it. So the Universal Audio has more thump to it. And again, what am I doing here for EQ? At 50 Hertz, I'm boosting 4 dB on both EQs. I'm taking out 500. We're taking out about 4 dB. At 5K, we're adding 2 dB. That's all we're doing. And I turned up the preamp slightly on the Blackbird and then slightly on the Universal Audio. And then I lowered the output to level match it. So listen to just the low end of the kick here. Let me try to... Let me just slide this out of the way. I'll turn this up a little bit just so you can hear it a little bit better. It's going to be a little too loud here for the mix, but here we go. Here's the kit, and then just keep your eye on the plugins. So we have a little bit more of that underneath that really low here. Now on the universal audio. Now on the kit, could you dial that in with some more EQ? I'm sure you could. Let's try. So adding a little bit more 50 on the kit plugins, it sounds a little bit more similar now. So again, they're both based on the circuit of the 550B. I think it's a 550B is the 4-band EQ. It's based on the same circuit, so it's going to sound the same. And it does sound the same. It sounds really close like the API. So I find that overall that the universal audio has a little bit more low end in it than the KIT. So that's our kick. Now, if we go to our bass here, and let's just see if we could dial in kind of the same thing with the bass here. So let's open up the kit. Come on now, and then let me slide this over a minute, and then let's open up UAD, and let's see how the bass sounds separately. Here's kit. Let me turn this one on and then bypass it. Yeah, same thing on the bass. It just has a little bit of an underneath girth that you don't get with the kit. I don't know how it comes across on YouTube, but that's what I hear in the studio. So again, now what did I do here? At 100 Hertz, I boosted up 6 dB. That was it. So if I turn up a little bit more 100 on the KIT on the Blackbird, would it sound a little thicker? Probably. Let's try. So now it sounds way similar, right? Okay, so now let's go back. Let's listen to the whole mix again, and let's turn them back and forth, and let's see if it's a little bit closer. Let me turn my kick drum down a little bit. Let me give you a little less volume overall here. Let's see what we have here. So again, we'll start with the Blackbird, and then we'll go over to Universal Audio. Here we go. Okay, so from a tonality point of view, they sound pretty darn close. But what I hear with the Universal Audio Vision is I hear, again, even if I listen to the hi-hats, which are pretty low in the mix, I hear like the hi-hats are a little bit more forward. It almost seems like things are a little bit, my first word that comes to mind is things are a little bit more richer sounding with the Universal Audio, but again, it's subtle, and I don't even know if richer is the right word, but that's the word that comes to mind. It feels like it's a little bit more, just sounds a little bit more finished to me. We're talking a little bit, but I'm just trying to pick apart what are the subtle differences here, because they both sound really great, but that's what I'm hearing. Let me know what you're hearing. Focus on the hi-hat and the snare. I even feel like the snare with the Vision, the Universal Audio one, feels like it's a little more forward in the mix. It just feels like it's a little bit more present. It's got a little bit more punch. Now, again, it's a different console. The Vision, if I understand my API history correctly, the Vision console is a more modern console than the old more classic console, I believe, in Blackbird. And my guess is that Blackbird one is probably heavily modified. It's got all kinds of goodness that John McBride did to that console and all in the team down at Blackbird. So again, it's not the same desk. So the Vision sounds a little bit more modern to me. The kit sounds a little bit more vintagey to me, just a little. Yeah, if I had to quantify it in a way, I would say that's what it is. The Vision channel strip to me, this one here sounds a little bit more high five to me. This one here sounds a little bit more vintage. It sounds a little more modern, sounds a little bit more vintage. Both have that classic API thing. They both sound really, really good. And on certain channels, I use the 560 graphic, but I made sure they were the same. And the other ones, I used the 550B. So what do you think below? Let me know what you think. They both sound great. They're both awesome. You could get both of these plugins at a very reasonable price, around 100 to 150 bucks. But here's the rub on the Universal Audio. Again, if you're comparing apples to apples beyond sounds, you also got to remember that the Universal Audio's got a gate and a compressor in it. Okay, this one doesn't. Now, again, I don't know if that's because the desk at Blackbird doesn't have that in that particular desk and the Vision console does. I'm not really sure. You can research that. But anyway, when you buy the plugin, just realize in the Universal Audio, you're getting more in the plugin than you are here in the Blackbird. We're not using the gate and the compressor in this video, but just so you know that. But they both sound really, really good. They both got that API sound, which sound totally different than anything, say SSL or Neve. I love API. I've used this for many, many years and recently just got this and I like this as well. So that's the difference. If you wanted to know what the difference is, which one would I have to pick? If I had to pick one or the other, if you're going to force me to put a gun to my head, which one would I pick? The only reason why I would pick this one, and I'm going to say the Universal Audio, is because if I only could have one, I would pick that for the fact that it has a gate and a compressor in it and the Blackbird doesn't. That would be the only reason. If you only could have one and you wanted to know which one would I pick based on that, I would probably get the Vision because it's got more that you can do in it than the Blackbird, but not because of sounds. It's just because it has more in it. That's all. Other than that, I love having both of them. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. Now, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. As I said earlier, I want you to go to homerecordingmadeeasy.com, get that free mixing course right on the homepage. You cannot miss it. It's my gift to you. Get that course. You take that course. If you dig Uncle Dave's style of teaching and you want to take one of my other full-length training courses, anything on the website, I want to give you 25% off using a discount coupon code. Say that 3 times fast. Use the coupon code YouTube25 at checkout. That will take off 25% of any training course on the website. So until the next video, I've been Dave with homerecordingmadeeasy.com. Thank you so much for watching me, everyone. And I'll see you guys in the next video.